Hello YouTube and fellow Star Wars collectors! On this episode of Toys Are the Way, we'll be taking a look at another character from the second wave of vintage collection figures for 2024, Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot from A New Hope. Now, this is a figure TVC fans are pretty familiar with by this point. We initially saw it in that Jedi Destiny 3-pack and then later on its own carded release a few years ago. But it's really nice to see it re-released again with that updated Hildebrandt logo that's no longer obstructed, and it's kind of a smart one to get out there. Hasbro's currently getting us a 4-pack of pilots, and it just makes sense to utilize their factory time the best they can and just get this figure out there again for, fans who never picked them up or want a better carded sample. I'm personally thinking about picking up a couple more of these because I want to upgrade some of my other pilots like Wedge, Biggs, and Gold Leader, who are on very outdated molds, so kind of a good one to get out there, and if that's something you're considering doing as well, definitely a smart move. But with all that being said, don't forget to drop a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, or even become a channel member, and let's take a closer look at the card and figure. Taking a look at our vintage style packaging, we have a classic original 96 Kenner card back with the Star Wars racetrack logo nice and prominently displayed. We have Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot on a blue name pill color with the Hildebrandt logo in the top right corner, which is no longer obstructed by the warning label, which has been moved down below. We have a nice image of Mark Hamill getting ready for the Battle of Yavin with the Kenner logo down below, and all things looking fantastic on this card. Additionally, we have a fantastic 375 figure looking pretty good and popping against that blue name pill color. On the back, he is VC 158 in the line, Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot, and we have a small description of the character followed by the vintage collection logo and additional images of the card and figure. Lastly, this design is actually different than the previous release of VC 158, so that's always something to consider. So all in all, I'm very happy to add this one to my carded collection, and it just has to be said that the Hildebrandt logo looks so much better on this release. Taking a look at Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot out of the packaging, he's a really nice figure and a great addition to anyone's collection who maybe never picked this one up during the original release or is just now getting into collecting. So in terms of articulation, he is a little bit dated, but not too bad in my opinion. So he has ball jointed shoulders, elbows, a hinge at the wrist, he's got a crunch up here, his head is on a little bit of a ball joint there, so you get some pretty good range of motion. And then you get to the lower leg portions, which is where the issue is kind of at. So we have the old style hips, which, aren't great, but they're pretty good. The only problem is I still think this material here could have been a bit more of a softer plastic, just to, make it a little bit more easy to engage with those ball jointed hips. He does have a swivel at the thigh, ball jointed knees, and he has no rocker ankles. Unfortunately, he just has a hinge. So that's another thing that could be upgraded, but these pilots aren't doing a ton of, action poses and stuff, so I guess it's okay. And then we have his helmet here, which is, one of the removable ones, so you can simply just put it on like so. Kind of got to get the strap out of the way, which is a little annoying, but put it on, and there you go. Good to go to hop in an X-Wing, an A-Wing, or any kind of vehicle and just, take on the Empire. Taking a look at X-Wing Pilot Luke compared to the previous release, you can see that there's not too many differences here in terms of the paint application or anything like that. Pretty much exactly the same figure. I think the only noticeable difference is the pigment of the plastic that's used for his flight suit. Definitely seems to be much more vibrant for this new release, so that's a plus if you're, somebody's looking to upgrade your figure. But other than that, all the paint application and details look pretty much the same. Taking a look at the helmets, got some nice clean lines there, nothing too crazy. And yeah, like I said, I'm happy to pick up a couple more of these because I want to update some of my older pilots like Gold Leader, Biggs, and Wedge. So definitely a good release to have out there. All pilots to your stations. Repeat, all pilots to your stations. Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot is a decent repack that some fans may be very happy to see. While the figure itself has no meaningful updates to note, this repack does allow new fans an opportunity to pick up this figure for a decent price, simultaneously allowing seasoned collectors a chance to update their older Rebel pilots if they choose to do so. For the most part, this is a really nice figure despite the slightly older ball jointed hips and lack of rocker ankles. The upper body articulation allows for a number of action poses, and while Luke is very capable of taking on the Empire, I must admit that rocker ankles could take this X-Wing pilot sculpt to another level. Regardless, I appreciate getting this release and would like to see Blue Squadron pilots in the future as well. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a look at this latest addition to our collections and displays, Luke Skywalker X-Wing Pilot from A New Hope. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.